Hello everybody, my name is Ben, and right now I'm in the Philippines. Originally I'm from Germany, working for a Christian organization called the Christian Mission Service in an orphanage home, trying to teach children what they need for life, teaching them English, mathematics, but also basic wisdom. And I've prepared a short devotion or short message for them this evening that I also want to share with YouTube. And firstly, I want to also say I'm not originally English speaking, I'm German, and with that, I want to apologize for any mistakes. But I also want to say I'm not going to cut this video anyway, I'm just going to speak out completely truthfully, honestly, and understanding. Yes. So, what this video will be about is the best revenge is none. This is the topic. The best revenge is none. For this topic, I've brought a short quote of Pamela Short, which goes the following: "The best revenge is none. Heal, move on, and don't become like those who hurt you." The best revenge is none. Heal, move on, and don't become like those who hurt you. Okay, as simple as that. This also applies to the mistakes you've done to yourself in the past, not only to others, because we tend to restrict our view of revenge, pushing it outside, taking revenge for others, but we can also take revenge on ourselves. For example, when I look in the past and I ate a lot of chocolate. You see in my skin I have a lot of pimples. I ate a lot of sweets and chocolate in the past couple of days, and with that I hurt my body, and I also hurt my immune system, and I hurt my skin. But I don't really beat myself up for that. I acknowledge my mistakes, I grow out of my mistakes, and I acknowledge that I could have done different, and I will do different in the future. For our devotions that we have here in our village, we have this little book right here, and in this book there are some extracts about certain topics, and for this topic of revenge there's also a little extract, and I'm going to read it to you first wholly, and then we're going to go through it in 3 parts. Okay, here it goes. "When others hurt us, it can be tempting to seek revenge, but true healing comes from letting go. Choosing forgiveness over retaliation allows us to grow and move forward in peace. By refusing to mirror the actions of those who hurt us, we demonstrate strength, grace, faith in God's justice. As you heal, remember that your worth is not defined by your wrongs, by the wrongs done to you, but by how you rise above them with love and integrity." Okay, so let's go to the first part instantly. The first part: when others hurt us, it can be tempting to seek revenge to others, but true healing comes from letting go. Okay, let's stay there for a moment. Letting go is the forge of success and healing, is my first claim for this. For example, when we let go of toxic relationships, we acknowledge that some people have hurt us, and we also acknowledge that it was better for us to just let them go. For example, when I was in a relationship with a girl who was completely depressed, and she was draining my energy and draining every part of me, I didn't see it then, but now I know that it was the better version and the better opportunity to just let go and move on. Also, too many possessions. You long for the new iPhone that's about to drop. You long for a new car. You have 2 cars, 3 cars already, not knowing what to do with it. But one quote that I brought with me today: "Desire binds, understanding releases." When you long for more, you have to understand why you want more. You want more because most of the time it's social conventions, programming, propaganda, advertisements that lead you to believe that you want more. What you actually do want is social acceptance that you derive from possessions, which is completely wrong, because what you should derive your social acceptance and self-worth from is from wisdom, from friends, from conversations, from real deep conversations. Another example of why letting go is better. Bad habits, for example. You look into the past and see you've been smoking, you've been drinking a lot, you've been staying up all night doom scrolling, but you acknowledged your mistakes, you let go of the bad habits, and you also let go of the past version of yourself that's done that, and you don't beat yourself up for being that person. Instead, you just wake up the next day acknowledging your mistake and saying to yourself, I'm not that person anymore. I've changed. As simple as that. Looking back is a good ability to be able to learn, but staying in the past will block your view of the future. Another example. You have bad memories of the past. You remember the time you were in school, standing in front of the class, holding a presentation, and you couldn't get your words out. Why do you beat yourself up for that? You stay in the past, you think yourself to sleep over and over again. Oh, how cringe was that? Why did I do that? But actually, it was just an opportunity to learn, an opportunity to grow, because you saw you didn't have enough confidence back then, but why? There we come to the understanding part. You have to understand. Desire binds, understanding awakens. Or how I phrased it here, desire binds, understanding releases. When you understand why you had fear standing in front of the class, then you're going to become better, more wise, and basically a better public speaker. Okay, second part of this thing. Choosing forgiveness over retaliation allows us to grow and move forward in peace. Choosing forgiveness over retaliation, over revenge, allows us to move forward in peace. Forgiveness is a great word because it especially underlines understanding as a condition of forgiveness. For example, when I want to start a relationship with a girl who has a boyfriend, for example, I remind myself, I want that, but I understand that it won't work. Why do I want it? Because it would be a challenge to overcome the boyfriend as an obstacle. But also when we project that saying to others, forgiveness is a word because we take understanding as a condition for forgiveness. I forgive the children right here for not telling me about their bad grades. I forgive them for leaving without my without me allowing them. I forgive them, and with that, I'm not punishing them, but I'm giving them the opportunity to learn themselves. Because, you know, what's even harder than changing your own ways? Changing the ways of others. Okay. So, another example of why desire binds and understanding releases. I had the desire for more chocolate, although I already realized my mistake. But why do I have the desire of more chocolate? Because I'm a primate. I'm a little animal who just happens to be really conscious, and I basically, my ape brain doesn't realize that eating too much chocolate is not beneficiary to my health, because all my limbic system has in mind is gathering enough calories to be able to survive the next winter. Okay, so the last part. I'm not particularly religious, but it also involves God in this part. By refusing to mirror the actions of those who hurt us, we demonstrate strength, grace, and faith in God's justice. As you heal, remember that your worth is not defined by the wrongs done to you, but how you rise above them with love and integrity. By refusing to mirror the actions of those who hurt us, we demonstrate strength, grace, faith in God's justice. As you heal, remember that your worth is not defined by the wrongs done to you, but how you rise above them. I especially want to concentrate on the last part. Your worth is not defined by the wrongs done to you, but how you rise above them. Life is 5% what happens to you and 95% what you think about it. Nothing outside can control you. Only the judgment you give what's outside can control you. Nothing outside can control you. Only the judgments you give it control you. Okay? And it's the same. When you judge yourself for your wrongdoings, then it will determine your self-worth. But when you don't judge yourself, instead you understand, then you will rise above. You will become wiser. That's all I'm saying, okay? So, for the first part, we have to forgive ourselves. But first, we have to acknowledge our sins, our wrongdoings. And we have to learn from them and help others, as well as ourselves, to outgrow those wrongdoings. Okay, and now to end this whole scheme, something religious for the religious people under you, out of the Bible, Romans 12, verse 29. Do not take revenge, my dear friends, but leave room for God's wrath. Do not punish yourself, do not punish others, do not take revenge in others for their wrongdoing. Instead, leave them go their way. And for that, leave room for growth that comes from the inside of them and from the inside of you. Okay, that's basically it for this. But before I sign off, I just wanted to tell you something. All what I said right now was not really scientific, it was just felt, okay? And it also undermines one factor completely. That is the factor of success. Because this right here states that you can't long for something, you can't want something. But you don't have to misunderstand me there. You have to have plans in order to move forward. But the plans to acquire possessions is not something that is really valuable. Instead, what's valuable here is the feeling that will emerge as soon as you acquire a possession. Will it give you a better way of life? Will it give you something that you don't yet have? Or will it just be something temporary that will fade after? So, every time you want to buy something or you long for something, don't crave for the material possession, but you have to ask yourself, how would it make me feel? That's the more essential part. And I'm telling you, you need plans to achieve those feelings. And you need to use material goods as a tool to achieve those feelings. But the tool should not be the goal. It should be the way to get to the goal. If you like this post, please subscribe, like, share, whatever you like. I will post more like this, but I will also take you on some adventures of mine. Sorry for my voice, by the way, I'm a little sick. But that's my message for today. Bye.